I want to just first of all welcome you. I am so grateful that you said yes to this interview.
Yes.
And for me, it is pure joy and just such an exciting time to have you here. So, tonight we'll be hearing from Joanna Pons-Torres, who is an amazing artist herself in many ways. And she also supports artists finding their calling out of her Mott Haven Gallery in the Bronx. And, I really kind of have come to respect her so much, just seeing all the different things she is doing, how much she's helping in the community, all the great work that she's done throughout her life and her career of service, and how she has built herself up. She is an immigrant to this country. She has learned the English language. She is doing incredible things, and they are worth showcasing. So it is my hope that through this interview, we get to know more about her, we get to understand a little bit about her journey, and we get to learn about Mott Haven Gallery, which I personally am very excited about. So, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. It's all such a beautiful words. Thank you. Thank you, Lorilette, for inviting me. I feel honored. I feel happy to be here, with you tonight. And I'm here to, to talk about what we do at Mohaven Art Gallery. And so what we do basically, is that we help artists showcase their art,
Mhm.
local. We focus a lot on the community because as we found out, about 8 years ago, there's so many talents in our community, and you know they struggle so much to place the art somewhere. It's difficult. There's a
Mhm.
lot of steps, to
Mhm.
get there, and we just connected with people, in different ways, and it just happened. It blossomed. That's the word. It evolved to that point where we use my husband's office, as a gallery, and we also have a space, that's dedicated to the gallery, but we adorn his walls, his office walls with the artists, painting. And it's beautiful because we offering something different to the community, something unusual,
Mhm.
and it's wonderful to see people come in and inquire and ask. And that's the goal. The goal is to touch someone, to touch that sensibility that exists, but because of the routine and the hustle and bustle every day, just focus on going from one place to another, we don't see things. There is too much in front of our eyes, that when something catches your eyes and it make you think, it make you look at a picture twice or something, that's the goal. The goal is to get you out of the ordinary, and wonder, and say, wow, I want to go inside and find out what is this, so that's the goal. Yes.
Yes, I absolutely love it. What you're doing is creating possibility, right, around your community and supporting artists to also become more well known. You're exposing them to the community as well. Now, so you started the gallery itself because I can see you would have a passion, but wow, going all out and actually creating a gallery. Like, what
Yeah.
inspired you to actually create a gallery, right? Like you really literally have a gallery. And what was the process like for doing this?
Wow. So it's so important. So such a good question, because it's exactly that. Is seeing what you have, what we have as people, as Hispanics, Latinos. We have so many resources, but we don't see it.
Mhm.
So we started, going out, and we started we met someone. It happened really actually in the Dominican Republic when we met an artist my husband was introduced to for legal advice. My husband is a lawyer. And we fell in love with the person and we fell in love with his art. And from there, we started, being more active in the art community. We started going to galleries. We started meeting artists. We started going to museums. It was amazing, It was a lot of activity back then. And so we started visiting and we met some people that she was starting a gallery in Larchmont, and it was just a county. And I said, wow, but we actually can do this because we have the space. So it was actually from seeing someone and then looking at what we have, it said, we can actually do the same thing. And
Mhm.
that's how it basically it just started, it blossomed
Mhm.
that way, like I said before, because like I like I said, we have so many possibilities, and
Mhm.
we don't see it so many times.
Mhm.
And it was a sincere and honest thing, to really show the beautiful things that our community has,
Mhm.
and the people, and to bring them together, and seeing someone being affected in a positive way, so that's what we wanted to. That was the goal.
Yes, and I'm sure you're doing that every day, Now,
Yeah.
I'm sure also that in your path, as you're doing all of this, there were some challenges, right? And I'm just wondering, like, what challenges have you faced as a Latina entrepreneur in the art world? Because this is a very different kind of endeavor.
The beautiful thing about art is that even though art opens doors, you don't have to be an artist per se, but if you're carrying an art piece, there is so much respect for that work that it's sort of like it opens that door, because you come in with the art. But our world is still limited, very limited to, uh, to the community. We are expanding, but I haven't had like a really bad experience or anything. You have to do the work. You have to go, you have to visit people, you have to talk, and you're looking for those people that are going to connect with you, you know, that they see something beyond. And that's beautiful. When that happens, it's like teaching a child how to read. When it clicks in the brain, it's something like that. And of course, it's the business aspect. You have to sell, you have to make sure, that you building for your business. But if you know how to promote and target, it's something that you get better at it every time, and it's the experience. I think that what we sell more is the experience of connecting
Mm.
people with art. Yes.
Wow, this was impressive. Thank you, because you gave it a totally different perspective, and how for you, maybe because you have so much love for this,
Yes.
you haven't felt like even those challenges that would probably put anybody who is not really an enthusiast put them off. And maybe you just felt like, no, I got to keep going because you actually love it so much, and just that insight, right, that the whole way of how you're seeing it is a very positive charged direction, and I
Yes.
think that that's awesome. Now, I'm thinking, like, for people who are viewing, like, what advice would you give in terms of people who want to kind of start their own businesses, not necessarily in art, but just this whole endeavor, an idea of like starting from nothing? Because you're telling it now like this, but like, how did you get like the courage, right, to start? Because there are many people that are probably wondering, but how do I start from a point of entrepreneurship and my own passion? Like, what advice would you give, especially like young women who sometimes, maybe like wondering, can I, should I, will I survive? You know?
Well, I would say find your passion, find something that really, really, you really like, and that you dare to take it across, and talk to people and show it and present it. Also, become knowledgeable financially, how to run a business there. Not the emotion that like, oh, the feel good, but the seriousness.
Mhm,
What is it that I need to know? What are the documents that I need to learn? What are the steps that I need to take, to make this a reality instead of just doing it informally. Don't do it informally. You know, register your business, get your trainings. Um, talk to people. Get people that are also professional in the work that you're going to hire. That you need, so that you're building something formal. You're building something with strength and structure. Structure is very, very important. And sometimes for me, I love it because a presentation, there's no two presentation the same, or two art exhibit the same, or two sales the same. And it's there when the obstacle comes that you have to put all your skills at work.
mm,
Okay. You have to take a step back and look at the person that's going to buy. Why stopping that person from getting that piece of art? Do they need more information about investing as um, art as an investment? Do you have to present it in a different way? It's not
mhm,
just, oh, it's a beautiful piece, I want you to have it, but to teach the person also that what they're acquiring is something for the future, that something that has
mhm,
value, something that has
mhm,
um that is an investment in themselves, and if they want to sell it in the future, that they can, because it has value.
mhm,
So because a lot of people have money and they want to buy, but they don't know why they want to buy it.
mhm,
So it's a continuous education in the process. It's not
mhm.
just it's not just like selling a piece of bread. It's great. You get your
Right.
bread and you go and you know what to do with it. But this is a lot of intangible, you know.
Yes.
And for that, I like the challenge. I don't see it as a challenge. I actually see it as something that I can put all my skills, I can put all my information that I have acquired, trainings, and I love it, I love it.
Yes, and this is one of the reasons why I so wanted to also begin talking about this in this manner, because it is a beautiful thing, but also you have that love, that passion, for it. And it comes right through even when you are describing, arduous training, meaning there's a commitment that has
Yeah,
to be made so
yeah.
that, like you said, people can see it through, whether that is, if you're in also in the art world, because there might be young Latina women who may like that. And I'm sure you'd be opening to, some kind of mentorship and that kind of stuff. So they should be able to reach out to you, look for you on social media, and also follow you, and just try to connect with anybody that listens, wants to kind of know you more and know about your offerings and the type of support that you do in terms of the mentoring aspect, coaching of the client through these different areas that they might need. Because they're artists, but some of them are not incorporated. Some of them are not taking, again, that endeavor to the degree of seriousness because they're not necessarily aware, like you said. So if an artist is also listening, this is a great opportunity to kind of have a lot of these things in place. You can support them through all of these different aspects, since you have a whole A through Z kind of program. And,
Yeah.
and I think it's really important for people to understand that because your husband is a lawyer, you actually also have an advantage and an edge of how you guys manage and support an artist through a process of showcasing their work and building their name.
Yes, absolutely. We teach them, and thank you for saying that, because that's exactly what it is. It's it has many aspects. It's not just the selling of the art, but the legal aspect. We actually teach our clients, how to protect their work, how to keep it profitable for the future, how to formalize it. Because the reason that it's not people don't want to be organized, is that they just don't know, or the steps that it takes. They might know one or two steps, but when you explain it, then it's easy. It's like, wow, I can really do this. So that's what we do. And I also I also have, I say I have like a knack, a little bit of a talent, I would say, because I just like, I look at the artist, and I look at the personality, or what's holding them back sometimes, and I'm able to work that out with them, sort of like develop them to
Mhm,
create that, to bring that persona out, that so many times they're just so consumed in creating their work, that
mhm,
the person itself is sort of like, on hold. So
mhm.
it's like a makeover, but in a
Oh, I
makeover
love
where
it.
they participate. I'm not doing anything, I'm just bringing out their talents in a different way.
Mhm,
And it's a wonderful experience. We have artists that, well, right now there's an artist that he actually opened his own, like a boutique downtown, all the way downtown,
mhm,
after being successfully, exhibiting at the World Trade Center and
mhm,
and all the galleries.
mhm,
So, and it's like, wow, this person, we had an opportunity with him in our gallery, and we are
mhm.
very thankful to him, but also how they expanding, because
Yes.
sometimes all they need is just a friend, is just someone to listen to them,
Mhm,
someone to listen to, and and real advice. I'm not gonna if
yes.
I say this is my commission, I'm not gonna change my mind. We sign documents, we go by our words.
Of
So
course.
that's very, very important, because that creates a trust, and also they learn how to do it in the future with other galleries.
Right, because that's what I'm saying that is so special about your programming. You kind of support that artist, right? And but the point is that they eventually become themselves, in that process. You're not
Yeah.
trying to hold them back. You actually want them to go the bigger, the better, the bolder, because again, it all comes back to reflect the process and the
Oh,
work that you're
yes,
doing
yes.
and the relationships you're building with different art galleries to then move that artist to bigger places, and that's the goal, that you kind of mature in that process, position yourself adequately, have everything legally where it needs to be, have all of your items organized where they need to be, and then you go ahead and support that whole process. It's like giving birth, and like you said, it was a makeover, and I think that that's such a well put way, right? The way you're phrasing this makes perfect sense, because it's like they've had all this in them, but then they needed like almost somebody to pull that out and be like, hey, look, it's been here all along, you know?
Yes, exactly. Sort of like organizing them in order, so that they can successfully flow, and
Yes.
develop. Yeah.
Yes, I just love the work you're doing, not only for the community, not only for art itself, but also the artist, right? So it's this
Yeah.
really wrap around support And I think it's just incredible. You don't find a lot of people who are doing this kind of work, and I'm like in
Yes.
awe of the work that you're doing. And I just hope it gets out there, like massively people start reaching out to build themselves in the artist world, in such a way that they're doing it right, that they're doing all those back end things that they may not even be fully aware they need.
Yes,
So,
because when you do it right, everybody wins and everybody grows.
correct, correct.
You
That's
know.
the point,
Yeah. Yes.
Now, I mentioned that you are an immigrant, right? So, can you share a little bit about your journey, coming into the US, and like what inspired you in that whole process of becoming and just entering a new place, you come to the US, it's a totally different life.
Yes.
Um, and when you consider like the US is an English language speaking country, it's totally different. There's nothing in English sounds like Spanish. They just don't. They're just two different things. And just kind of getting used to, right? Like the whole cultural background shifts and language and just all of that immigrant experience. Can you share a little bit about it?
Okay, so I migrated here to the United States, New York in particular, 1983, along with my sister. We flew together from Santo Domingo to New York. My father had petitioned us. He was living here, and my mother stayed back. I was 17, like I said, and I, it was a lot of vehicles, a lot of highways, very cold. you know, Not so many trees because we came in March, so it was winter, basically. So, but what I learned, I quickly learned that I needed to learn the language because I didn't want anybody to translate for me. I felt
Mm,
that I felt so that I would write things in Spanish, in English, and then in Spanish. So if I needed to ask for something, how did I ask for this? But then what? That was the end,
no,
of
but
my
yeah.
English. So I realized that if I wanted to do something, I needed to learn the language. So I started, immediately you start working, and I started taking ESL classes, which I didn't understand, but I'm very thankful to them because they create the foundation. You learn you learn one aspect of the language in this class, and then you get better, and then you learn the other aspects, reading and comprehension and conversation. And
Absolutely.
yes, and then I said, you know what? I really want to go to school, so I enrolled in a Bronx Community College, and that's what I really learned, the the language. I learned it formally, I
Right. Because
study, I learn it. Yeah. So and I wasn't how to tell you, I didn't settle. I would take the newspaper and I would read, like pretend I'm reading, and if used to identify words like table, chair, so it was like building my vocabulary.
yes,
I was
yes,
stubborn. I didn't want to just stay, limited, and
right.
and and I think that was my breakthrough. I think I was able to get to the next level, by doing that, by forcing myself to learn to. I used to buy them back then. They had the magazines with the lyrics of the songs, and then those
Uh,
famous songs that were like top 40, then I would sing along, even though I didn't know
wow.
what I said, but I wanted to learn the pronunciation. So you have to, if you want to do something, you have to find a way to do it. You cannot just say, "Oh, I cannot do it." That you have to. If you say that, think about it, and then say, "You know what? I don't. That's not me. I don't want this for myself. I want to be
Mhm.
better." And that's the goal. The goal is to have that curiosity, not to settle. but to
Mhm.
keep growing.
Mhm. Mhm. I love what you're saying here. Because you're talking about really just kind of having that sense of like, hey, you can do this. Almost self coach yourself through a process of like, come on, you can do this. Like cheer yourself into
Mhm.
the next best, into the next best.
Mhm.
Um, but it does take a special kind of person, right, to be able to do that. And
Yeah.
what I notice about you that I think is very striking, people may not really fully grasp why I say this, but I understand that you went through different industries. So fine, right now we kind of like now have really blown up and decided, in the art world, because you've been doing it for a while. Um, but you've been in real estate, you've been in accounting, you've been, doing so many different in the court system, the law system, like you have like a lot of very interesting um combinations, because they're not like linear in any way whatsoever, and
Right.
and and but they're also very interesting careers. Like I think each career must have been an adventure in itself, or maybe not, I don't know. But I would think they are, like, just
Yes.
because you did tell me about that, like.
Well, I studied accounting in DR, and then when I came here, I said, you know what, it's easier for me if I continue on that path because I already know a lot, you know?
Right, you had a foundation for it.
Right, exactly. So that's what I did. And then when I was looking for a job, an opportunity came up to work in the court system. Yeah. So then, I was there. I worked for 4 different judges as a secretary.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I had formal training in DR also as a secretary. So I learned a lot throughout the years, with the different judges, the different style. The work is very technical, it's very boring, there's nothing to talk about in the sense that, but by working, learning about the law and the system, it was a great experience.
Hmm. I bet that, was very analytical too,
Yes,
because I guess you'd have to be very oriented to detail.
yes,
If you think about, like, there you are, you're dealing with things that have to be very accurate. I would imagine, you can't just be like, oh, here, I'll wing it. Things have to be
no,
very
everything,
accurate, and
right.
so I think demanding in
Basically,
some way.
basically, basically, you are trained on everything that you're going to do, and also everybody goes along, nobody stays behind. And there's also, there are editors that edit any
Okay.
document, that is going to be published. There are 2 editors, the two great,
Wow.
people that do this editing, so that there's no room for failure. So there's so many different steps, and the work is very well done. And when you're part of that, I feel very grateful because I came here and I didn't speak a word of English, and I was able. I think that's that fire that says, you can do this, you can do it, go find information, work, and don't give up, don't be afraid,
Hmm. Hmm.
it's just that passion that drive me.
Of
And
course.
for me, it was a great opportunity, in 4 different times with 4 different people,
Yeah.
and it was amazing. I really learned a lot.
Hmm. Hmm. This is so interesting. Now, I know that, when we were talking about the work that you do in terms of mentoring and the community impact that you are having, but when you go back and think of your biggest story and accomplishment. I know you mentioned this artist, right, that is now having their own um, shop and just doing really well and flourishing and all of this. But what are some of the common struggles that the artists that typically have come to you are trying to kind of overcome as they're trying to build their careers? Like, as you think about your role mentoring them, what would you say is like a common thread that you
I
have
think I
noticed?
think I think not having enough information about how to present themselves, the work, but how to position themselves, you know. I think it's a lot of time is there's so much talent, but there's also so much doubt, you know, like with every,
Ooh,
yeah, you know,
I love that. The way you
right,
phrased that, that was deep because you're saying there's so much talent, but then there's also so much doubt.
right,
Wow. So this is really one of the reasons why they come to you.
yes, yes, yes,
Okay. So if there's a doubting artist out there, it'll be great if they kind of connect with you because they probably will find some clarity
yes,
on that path.
yes. It's because you know they seeing themselves in a way, and then I'm seeing them in another way. I'm seeing the possibilities, you know, and how we can work and present, you know, the artist with the art, his style, you know, his personality, and you know the experience of painting, of you know doing this profession, this career, which is, you know, I'm sure artists find so many people that say, "Oh, don't do that," you know, and for them to persevere, you know, it's like, okay, so it's exactly this what is going to take you to the next step, you know.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
it's developing that, continue to develop that, you
yeah,
know.
and I see the authenticity about what you're saying. I think that what I grasp from it is the desire that an artist needs to learn how to be in alignment with who they are, their beliefs, fully understand their identity, right? So that self-discovery, um, that is something that you engage in with them
Yeah,
through a
self-discovery.
series of
Yeah.
activities and whatnot that I'm sure are your proprietary methods, but that help that artist kind of uncover their true power to be able to then turn around and do these things that they need to turn around and get done, because it's not enough that just the work of art is being put together, but also that self work. So I can see that this is a key element to the relationship that they build with you.
Oh yes, absolutely, absolutely. They are completely transformed. You know, they feel it and they say it and they come back and then thank us. You know, because it's just like an invisible kind of work that we do. You know, but they're able to see it. You know,
Mm-hmm.
eventually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's just coming out of that cocoon. You know, where they
Mm.
see blurry, and you know it's kind of like the light is on the other side but I can't see it, you know. so
Yes.
so it's all that, it's that transformation. Yeah.
I love this whole thing, everything, the way every time you come up with some really interesting visual, that basically really brings it home so that I think, when you're a visual learner like I am, it just gives it so much color. It's an exciting
Yes.
process. While it may not always be fun, because I bet, there might be moments that it's
No,
tough,
it has
but
its obstacles, you know, but I'm able to, I don't receive the obstacle with upset or angry or like disappointed. I say, you know what, there gotta be a way that we can turn this around, you know. And sometimes
mm.
you just need to breathe, take a step back, drink some water, let some time go by, you know, and the ideas come up, you know. So so
Oh,
some, it's not so much like, oh, I got it. No, if it's not my way, it's not, no, it's not like that, you know.
mm. It's kind of
So
like we settled into it.
exactly, yeah, yeah. So,
Mm,
but it's just a wonderful thing, you see artists that some artists, they come and they leave their art, and you don't see them again. And like sometimes we sell the art, and the money's there. Our responsibility is there, and we try to find through other people about them. And some other artists, they never leave one piece behind. They
right.
they take it, this is their possession, it's like their children.
Yes, it's like
And
a
it's
part of
very
them.
interesting. Yes, yes. So it's
uh,
it's very, very interesting, very, very interesting. Yes.
yeah. Oh, wow, wow. That the depth of all this, I'm loving all of it. Just the perspective,
Thank you.
looking at things from such a different lived experience, just highlights the value that you bring as well. Now, I'm thinking about this idea that you basically also were in real estate at some point. Um, do you still connect to people in real estate or no? You kind of like put that to the wayside. and
It's interesting. I did it for a while. I wasn't that very successful. But I did have my license. For a couple of years, and now it's like it's coming back around. I'm not fully doing it like that. We're doing other things like managing property right now. But it was something that I wanted to try. I wanted to do, and you know, I got my license, and it was an interesting thing to do. To get me out of the norm.
Mhm,
I wanted
mhm,
to just venture something different,
mhm,
and but with the art, it was like a really, really. I was able to put my skills at work.
mhm.
That's what
Right.
happened. Yeah.
And so it just kind of naturally all kind of came together. So
Right.
if you come back and you think about on the particulars of all of these different experiences like sales, real estate, your business lessons, like what financial and business lessons have been the most valuable to you as you go back and you're like, you know what, there was a moment when X, Y, and Z happened and I learned this. Like, can you come back to an idea of something that you feel like, wow, I learned X, Y, and Z, and from then on, this is what I do? Has there been a business lesson that you feel, or a financial lesson that you feel kind of change the way you do something?
Sometimes we do business, we align ourselves with partners and stuff like that, and then we realize that we can actually do it by ourselves. So I think
Mm.
that was the biggest wake up, to me. Like, I'm actually not messing up by myself.
Ah,
So for me was that, because a lot of time, and I'm not saying not to do partnerships, with other people. It's just that sometimes we do it from the beginning because we're afraid. Period.
right, right.
You know.
I guess the lesson would be so much that when there's a partnership to explore the reason behind it, if it's
Yes.
really
Yes.
worth pursuing a partnership, or if you could really just go ahead, muster the courage and do it by yourself.
I think a partnership will be good afterwards. After you have a business and you grow and you want to expand and you have someone that meeting of the minds, and it's gonna work like you. It has some skills that you like, that you think you could do, and then basically you have to protect the business, both business, the partnership has to be protected. So if you go in because there's a lot of passion and a lot of goodwill and all that stuff, but we don't explore the personalities and
Mhm.
and the realities, who can bring what. Because one thing you learn is that people will not do what they don't like to do, you know. So all those little things come into place, when you're working with somebody else. But
Mhm.
when you're working by yourself, hey, there's nobody to blame. You have to do it.
Right,
But you
right.
have to learn, you have to figure it out, you have to talk to people and get advice and trial and error. So
Mm,
that I think that was something that it helped me a lot, because I I did some partnership with some people, and we're still friends. Just that the business is completely different, and it's very different when you do business.
absolutely, absolutely.
Yes.
Mm. I'm thinking, the immigrant experience and just, the mindset that you have brought today, that you've shared, has been such a positive go get what you want kind of attitude. But I'm just kind of like thinking, have you ever faced discrimination or bias uh, of others, from others, because you've
Mhm.
been obviously a Latina, or maybe because of the accent, or maybe because they'll be with their own biases judging that you could or could not do something or afford something or be in a certain place, and things like that. And I don't want to sound biased myself, but it is something that I mean, very rarely have I heard that none of our Latino people have experienced some kind of something along the way. But I don't know your case. I don't know if you have or have never had any kind of
Oh yes,
experiences
yes, of
as
course.
such.
Yes. But I think I have so much optimism because of my mother. My mother believed every day that she could do better. And the thing is that when the discrimination, the bias is happening, but I wouldn't take it because I'm not here for that. I'm not here for you to put me in a box. I'm not.
I
I'm
love
gonna
it.
show you with my little accent, that I can do things. And there's nothing that deflates more than when you bring your skills and you do something that blows them away. Because we have so many experiences. Like us growing up in the art, you have to be creative with what you have, you know?
Right.
So to do something unusual and or to be able to find finish something, and how do you do it? And how did you were you able to accomplish that? It brings down, it kills that bias and discrimination because people do it to see if you accept it.
Hmm.
I'm not
Testing the
I'm not here
waters.
to accept it. I'm not here to accept that. That's what you feel that I'm entitled to. Well, not me. Thank you very
Mm,
much. I keep going. You keep moving. You keep moving.
keep
You're
moving.
gonna find other people. That's it.
Hmm.
You know.
Hmm. So that, I
Now,
mean, I think that's, yeah,
yeah,
no, I'm
if it's a
saying like that's
job,
awesome.
right? If it's a job where you have to, an uphill battle, and you have to go and complain and file this complaint and that's different. But in the sense that if you accept that, it's because you are conforming with that. You accepting that.
Mm,
And I,
mm,
I wasn't here for that, you know, because I
mhm.
came from a long way,
Right.
you know. So don't tell me. Now, if you don't like me or you don't want to give me a job, that's fine. I don't care. I go somewhere else. Somebody else will give me a job or work with
Yeah.
me.
Right.
And I never accepted it. I never allow it to make me feel bad. Like, oh, this person. I actually, we love our color of our skin. We we love ourselves so much in the Dominican Republic, and
We do.
and we have a lot of discrimination there too, but like but it's called life, you have to continue with your dreams and aspirations, and you have to live. You have to enjoy yourself, and you
Mhm.
can be, allowing this that's happening, and make you feel bad. No, write down your list, of your talents, you know
Yes.
what are you good at, and you practice it, you show it, you present it to the world, you know
Yes.
yeah
Yes. This
yeah
is so
yeah
critical to not only build, you know, the understanding of our own self-worth, right? And self esteem. Like we understand, hey, I'm valuable. I don't care what you think. I'm not going to internalize that. And but it requires that our new generation starts believing in themselves that much, right? So that they don't get caught up in having very toxic conversations with people who have no good intentions, right? Because if anybody comes with a very negative remark in your direction, they're obviously not having good intentions. So it is best to just put them away and be like,
yeah
nope, not with me, and be clear about that. So you are very fierce, even though you're just calm, but you're very fierce in your position. Like, no, when you say no, it's no. That's
exactly.
awesome.
I think when you believe in yourself is when you get things done. I don't know, you have a project at home, and why bring somebody else to do it yourself. Try to do it, simple things. But those things are start to give you a lot of self-worth about
Hmm.
yourself, because
Right.
it doesn't come from anybody else. It has to come from you, from God. But the work is on you. And
Hmm.
that's the problem, that we allow so many people that are feeling miserable, that are feeling envious in that moment, because those feelings they don't come from positive. They come from
No.
negative feelings. So
Yeah.
you cannot accept that. You can't. You can't accept that, you know?
So this idea to reject, just reject all that negativity that doesn't serve you. I love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
I love it. Now, if you could
Mhm.
go back in time and think about you when you came here, and you know, you have like this higher self that's looking at you, and be like, what advice would you give your younger self when you were first starting out? What would you give?
Well, I saw here, when I got here, I saw two roads. I saw the easy road, and I saw the more difficult, more struggling in the sense, but the 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 safe or better road for me. And I chose the hard one. I said, let me do things the right way, because I just didn't want to. I was afraid. I was afraid of the freedom that I found here. There was a lot of freedom everywhere, and I wasn't used to that. So I needed to learn how to deal with that. Because it's very easy to let yourself go and lose your dreams and aspirations, your goals. Yeah.
Hmm.
You have to keep your goals in front of you all the time,
Hmm.
whether it's lose weight, or you know go to school, or aspire to have this certain salary, that you want to aspire to get, to have a better life, whatever it is, travel, you know, uh, hiking or something, whatever it
Right.
is, you need to have your goals in front of you, and you need to
Mm.
figure out, how am I going to do this? Do I need to ask somebody? Or nowadays, the information is right at your hands. There's nowhere
Hmm.
to go. You have a phone and
Mhm,
you have the world, open for you.
mhm.
So the sad part is that um, we are like plague. It's like a disease that people are so depressed and they're so down, and but a lot has to do with self-reflection, you know, and
Yes.
being responsible only for your things. You can't be responsible for everybody's problem and everybody's, carry them on your shoulder, and it happens to all of us. But at some point, you have to wake up and you have to say, I have to live for myself. I have to do this for myself.
Mhm. Yes, that idea of setting boundaries, right? And just knowing what are you after, and how do you say no to things that aren't part of those goals that you should be keeping in front of you so that you don't
Yeah.
overburden yourself and
Yeah.
take on things that shouldn't be even in your plate to begin with. I think that this is really a good idea for our listeners to and viewers to really kind of capture, wait a minute, there's some reflection that I may need to be doing here. I may need to go ahead and pull out my journal and start thinking, what do I really want? And what are my goals? What am I aiming for? And I guess no matter where you are or what age, when you start kind of questioning, then I begin to create that path. Yeah, it makes sense to me.
Yes. 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 It's a lot of self-reflection, like I say, it's doing things, do it says that if you do three things a day, well, on whatever it is, your plans, your goals, that take you on track on what you're doing, and that's not to say that you're not going to enjoy going out with your friends or talking on the phone or whatever you do, but the goal is, it have to be in front of you. You have to
Mhm,
have that curiosity as to why you you know you want to do it, you want to there have to be something that pushes you. And when you get that feeling, that's the feeling that you hold on to it. You don't let it go.
mhm.
And that feeling, that's a feeling of success.
Of course, of course. It just feels like joy, like I have it, I got it. And
Right. Right.
yes, and harnessing that power of like the doing and achieving of those goals has to be like incredible for each person. Is it's going to differ, of course, based on whatever they're aiming for. But I think this is great insight, especially for younger viewers. Because I find that a lot of our younger generation is looking for ways to find that motivation, find that anchoring sense of like I belong, I have something to live for. But maybe part of what's lacking is what you're saying, the goals. Like if they have goals that push them forward in that direction of that dream that they're seeking to achieve, then of course motivation is going to be with them because they'll taste that success and that will never leave them. And I see it. I see how this can support our younger generation um, to just kind of thrive, you know?
Yes, and also, like take trainings, take classes, like right now I'm doing the financial, wellness, with Inspírame Latina, and he's the coach said, Judy said, you're gonna love it. And you know what, Judy, I'm loving it because every 15 days, I learned so much. It's like, wow, I could have never imagine that, you have to continuously, all the time, you have to study, you have to enroll in classes, in training, in seminars, and when you practice, when you do something, because that's what's going to open, in my opinion, has opened so many doors for me, to learn and to get better at what I'm doing, because it just
Yes.
doesn't happen, in one shot. and
Yeah,
that, and to build
absolutely.
that confidence, that belief have to be nurtured, just like you nurture
Yes.
in your body yourself, it has to be nurtured.
Yes. Yes, yes. And what you're saying is really critical because what it does, it allows you to participate within a community and to gently kind of steer your focus in the direction of what you need to be doing. But also, as you're doing work and consuming the contents, let's say of a webinar, and you're like reflecting on, wait, how does this apply in my life? Where am I in my life in relationship to this concept or this topic? Or wait a minute, do I need to improve certain things in here related to this? Because that sounds like me. Wait, do I have a mess in this area? Or wait, can I improve this? Or wait, there's hope. So what you're saying here is so critical for the mind and the heart, right? To stay in that sense of being alive and be on a continuous learning loop to rejuvenate ourselves.
Yeah, you
It
have to stay in
requires
that
that.
frequency. Yeah, you have to stay in that frequency because that's what's gonna make excel. You're gonna get keep growing and feeling better and better by yourself.
Yeah, and then you can set a new goal. You could be like, you know what, my goal this year is to, I don't know, make $300,000, just to say something. And then
Yeah.
you're like, how do I do it? What do I have to do? You start now creating a possibility, a plan,
Yes. Yes.
and it's not about the money, it's what you're becoming in that process
Yes.
of pursuing that. And I think
Yes.
that that's the invitation that, when we work with an individual, we're we're opening them up to see, do you see who you are and you see where you could be? You see the possibility. Let's create the plan. Let's build it. But there's work involved of like, oh my goodness, if I review this, I actually have a game plan in my hand and I can
Mhm.
actually achieve.
Yes.
Um, and so hopefully people who are listening get motivated to search for whatever their goals are so that then they can get
Yes.
into action, you
Yes.
know?
Yes. Yes.
Now, I'm going to ask you, we're almost wrapping up soon, but I want to ask you a few things regarding your idea of legacy building, right? And the concept of, in alignment, sort of like with this concept of future goals, but in a different way. It's kind of like, what impact do you hope to leave, part of your legacy, as a woman, as a Latina, as an immigrant? And when I say the legacy you wish to leave, of course, in the people that are around you because they see you every day, but also more in the extension of who you've become for the community through the art gallery and the different people you've supported in different ways. And just share a little bit about that, like that legacy aspect of your life.
Well, yes, we are very involved, with so many different things, like um, donating, items back home or here. Sometimes we had done food drive or participated. My husband did a lot of work in the little leagues, and from that, you also do a lot of other work, community wise. But I I would like to impact, to leave a legacy to women of knowledge and in financial, education because it's so important. Like for example, with my niece's daughter, I every time I see them, I like to give them money, like $100 bill, that
Yes.
that little, and it's
Yeah.
like, oh wow, dear, you're rich. They said, I say, you can be rich like this. I want you to be
Yes.
rich too. So
Of course.
it's not even that, it's the impact. It's the impact that you are
Yes.
putting in that child's mind, like,
Yes.
why do I need to do this? And the other day, the teenager, she says, oh, I want to start my own baking, cookies business, whatever. And
So
she even has,
awesome.
right. So, that's the legacy. The legacy is you can do it. It's easy, it's not something that is far away that you cannot reach it. But if we talk more about it, if we talk more about it and we teach each other what we know, okay?
Yes.
Even, even like when you have a pizza and you cut it in different, in four or something like that, you explain in fractions. So
Yes.
now the concept is not so foreign. It's within reach. Now they understand it. It's like crazy little things that you have no idea that makes so much impact in people,
Mhm.
in males and females. But for women, we are still think so much of financial, success as something abstract.
Yes.
We don't know about um, what is that, investing for retirement or
Right.
for accomplishing things. So that's the legacy that I want to leave, in that sense that to live a better world, um, to impact people in a positive way.
I love
Mhm.
it.
Mm.
Now, when you think about your business, that you've been working on and the gallery, how it's been expanding and evolving, where do you see yourself in the next 5 to 10 years?
it's, it's wonderful. I see myself doing more exhibits, and also collaborating with museums, with other galleries, and basically just taking what we're doing at a bigger scale, but always with the community, because the community is very talented. It's just that it's overlooked, you know. It,
Mm.
the funds don't get to us, the crumbs
Hmm.
they finish before,
Hmm.
so
Hmm.
just to do it at a larger scale. Yes.
Yes, I love that you're shining a light on, hey, there's so much that the community can offer. And this idea of being overlooked and how it is important for us to uplift that community and to
Yeah.
bring it to bigger places so that that artwork can be appreciated by other people as well and be elevated. So I
Yeah.
think this is a critical move that you are making, and God willing, you'll fulfill as you continue to expand and evolve in your relationships and the connections that you are developing each time you have an artist exposed at a different gallery. That's in essence what starts happening. The people move out of the community and expose themselves to others, and then they can grow, which is beautiful.
Yes. Yes.
No,
Thank you.
this is the last question that I have for you. What is your definition of success, and do you feel you've achieved it?
uh, well, my definition of success is really enjoying what you're doing at the fullest, that you feel so good about it after you've done the work, and that you can, and financially, you are compensated, that you don't have to worry about, paying your bills, or doing something that you want to do. I'm not talking about the rich life, because that's something else. um and why not, but really, that to have that financial freedom, i think is is my definition of success. And but the accomplishment, the freedom that you feel when you have accomplished something, that has no value. It's beyond value. It's very fulfilling, and it tells you like why, it's part of your mission. It's part of the mission of being here. And it's important to find that, because that's what gives you joy, and make you happy, and make you healthy, you know, and you
Yes.
radiate that to so many other people. So that's my definition of success.
Wow, I love it. I love it. Thank you for sharing so much that you've given us tonight. I feel like we've had a very extensive conversation about all of these different gifts and all these different lessons, and just got to see a side of you that is different, and got to see how you work with others and your messaging and that level of positivism and how amazing. Um, I'm hoping that many people start contacting you as we put everything out and they get to work with you
Thank you.
and experience the level of support that you are able to offer so that they can grow as artists. Because I do understand that many of our community, especially Latino artists, that's what we're saying when we say our community, um, that they may really lack so much of that support, and your willingness to give that and your willingness to show them a path forward and create a better outcome is a world of possibility that opens up for them.
Yes.
To all the artists, I hope that if you're listening, you reach out to Joanna Pons. And where can they locate your information, or where should they go? Is there a website you could share,
Yes.
or contact information? What call to action can we put here for them
Well,
to
they
do?
can find us at Instagram at Mohaven Art Gallery, and the website is also Mohaven Art Gallery at Gmail. Well, that's my email, but
Okay.
Mohaven Art Gallery, the
Okay.
website, it goes by the
Okay.
name. Yeah,
Okay.
but the Instagram is my strong account, so you could find me there. Yes.
Awesome. And they can just direct message you from there.
Yes, exactly.
Makes
Yes.
sense. So that way, if they need to arrange anything with you, they can do so directly. So
Yes.
thank you so much.
Thank you for inviting me. It's been wonderful. I feel so honored to being here, sharing this time with you. And thank you so much for your invitation.
My joy.